Yo, what's up everyone? I hope you're having a great day today. I'm going to discuss what I call the Marvel Rivals Easy Character Trap. So, firstly, I'm going to explain the concept, and then I'm going to call out specifically which characters can get you stuck in that trap, and then I'm going to give you my solution so that you don't get stuck in the same trap. Alright, and I'll let you know now that I fell into this trap as well, so this is coming from experience. So this is not a new concept in games where there's a lot of different characters that you can play from. So some characters are going to be easy and some characters are going to be difficult, but I've never seen a game with quite as many characters who are so easy that you can fall into this trap as Marvel Rivals. And the core idea is people playing an easy character to a higher level or rank than they really should be in, because their character has carried them to a rank that they shouldn't be in, and when they want to swap to a different character, they're stuck, because if they swap off, they're going to keep losing. I wanted to save this for the end, but it's too important not to mention now, so I'm going to insert it here. The people who are in this trap are people who are playing characters strictly because they want to win, rather than liking the character's lore, gameplay, etc. In Tekken, there's a very toxic attitude people have when you use an easy character, because basically they think that they're entitled to the win because they're using the hard character and you're using the easy character, and they can be toxic about it and obnoxious, and it hurts the game. So I really don't want to bring that mindset to Marvel Rivals, even though that's like a small part of the Tekken community who do that. But even though it's a small part, it's noticeable enough that it hurts the game's reputation, and it makes people avoid playing the game, or like in general, because if you're new, you're going to be drawn into beginner friendly characters, and well, if you know you're going to be made fun of for playing beginner friendly characters, well, you don't have anyone you want to play, so you're probably going to be like, I give up, I'll play something else. So I'd rather not bring that type of mentality into the game. That's not what the intention of this video is. However, with that said, I'm going to give you an honest list of characters in Marvel Rivals that I know from experience can carry you. And at first this list was longer, but I narrowed it down just so it's more specific, because in my own head, as I was going through certain characters, like Namor, I was thinking, well, actually, there is quite a skill ceiling to Namor. But these characters, there's some skill ceiling, as I'll go into, but they really stand out. So here they are: Cloak and Dagger, Rocket Raccoon, Scarlet Witch, and the Thing. There's arguably more characters, as I've already said, but I really doubt anyone will argue that these characters don't carry their player base. I don't have all day to go into all four of these characters, but I don't need all day because they're really simple. So here we are. Cloak and Dagger. You use the Cloak ability to avoid ultimates, and you're using Cloak during her ultimate, and you're using Dagger to heal everyone, and that's about it. You don't really need to aim or anything. So next is Rocket Raccoon. You're ulting during your team fight, you're carrying around a revive beacon, and you're holding the heal button while facing your team while behind your team. Now with Rocket Raccoon, the wall climb does have a skill ceiling to it, so I will acknowledge that. Next is Scarlet Witch. You're holding down the attack buttons while looking at your enemy, and you barely need to aim. You have a stun bubble and a get out of jail free card ability. Your ult works with some setups like the Doctor Strange portal, or if you're playing against people who aren't paying enough attention. So Wanda, I would say, is the worst character on the list to get stuck with, because unlike Cloak and Dagger, Wanda has no presence in top level play and really is just skill issue to character. Finally, the Ting, you charge and you punch and you clobber during clobbering time, and that's it. So the reason these characters exist the way they do is because they cater to the casual player. If you have a friend who doesn't know the hero shooter genre, you can tell them how Rocket Raccoon works in about 20 seconds and you both go and have fun. It is necessary and healthy for the game to have characters that are like this, that new people can just play without having to read a whole thesaurus of information. But what is unhealthy is when people decide they want to play this game for real. So they pick Rocket Raccoon, they get carried to Platinum or Diamond, and then they notice Spider-Man looks way more fun swinging around and diving in and out and doing flips and uppercuts and launching webs and pulling people off the map. Now, if this sounds specific, this is because this is the experience that I had. But when they play Spider-Man themselves, they lose, and so much that they get demotivated. If you've had this experience, I'm here to tell you that I had it too, and it's normal to get demotivated. To the people who've been down the same road and quit, they missed out on the greatest gaming experiences and life lessons you can have. And that lesson, to put it simply, is there's levels to this. So let me explain. This doesn't apply to every aspect of everything. Sometimes people do just get lucky, like, someone winning the lottery, or they get things they don't deserve. But that's the exception, that's not the rule. When you see someone with a talent and doing things you can't do, you shouldn't look down on them with animosity and think, that's probably easy. I could paint like that or skateboard like that or whatever like that if I really wanted to. I just don't care to do it. I have better things to do. Oh yeah? Like what? Genuine question, because if you can answer that question with a good response, you wouldn't have been in a position that you're jealous of someone else in the first place. The only reason to be jealous is if you're unfulfilled in some way. A man with a bar of gold doesn't look at a man with a bar of silver in envy. Sometimes when you want to achieve or learn something, the only option is to work your ass off until you do it. And if you have to get slapped down and given a reality check when you're starting off by taking defeat after defeat after defeat, you keep trying until you win. It sounds corny and basic, but it's unbelievable how many people have heard the old phrase never give up, and how few people actually put it into practice. If you want to go on that journey and experience what I've experienced, you can do that, but I'll warn you, it's not for everyone. You're going to get people who report you and hate your guts and really let you know how much they hate you personally for, quote, selling their games. And to a certain extent, their anger is kind of justified because they don't understand why you're using a character that's completely out of your league as shown by your gameplay. And in terms of how mad people would get at you, it doesn't matter if you're learning in quick play or ranked. Obviously, you should learn how characters work in practice range, but that will only get you so far. Real matches are obviously different. Here, in my opinion, is the solution to this whole easy character trap thing. Now, by the way, I just want to make a side note. The lesser of two evils when it comes to quick play or ranked is playing in quick play. But people have got super angry at me for playing in quick play. Just to learn a character, which I think is crazy. But yeah, I had people angry at me in ranked, so I went to quick play. People still mad. So yeah, hoes mad. Alright. Here's the solution. Simply play characters that you find fun and characters that you like. Do not play just for the sake of winning. You must find a tank, a DPS, and a support that you like and you either enjoy playing, so that you don't get bored of the pretty repetitive gameplay some of the more easy characters have. Now, if the character you love more than any other happen to be the Ting, Wanda, and Cloak and Dagger, then by all means don't let me tell you that they're not fun, because fun is subjective. This whole video is made for people who are having fun when they're winning and not having fun when they're losing. Because it's those people who are going to gravitate to characters that will give them free wins early on, and then when they realize after a while that their win rate is starting to go back to 50-50, aka the matchmaking is working, they want to swap characters, but there's no character who can carry them harder than who they're already playing. Those are the people who are going to get bored and stop playing and miss out on the depth the game has to offer and the fun they could have had if they had just dropped their egos, accepted their losses, and learned the lesson that there are levels to this. Anyway, that's all I have to say, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Like and sub if you want, and I'll see you around next time. Goodbye.